Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to do another discussion video. Now they've been doing pretty well lately, my discussion videos, so I think it's a welcome addition to my channel. So while I've got a few ideas, I thought I would throw as many out as possible. So tonight's not really going to be so much criticism on something, it's going to be more of an opinion-based sort of video. So hopefully it doesn't get as many harsh sort of comments, but as I said, if you want to do that, then you're more than welcome to. So yeah, this is what these videos are all about. Not fighting, but basically debating issues. So today, as I said, it's going to be more of an opinion based, and I just wanted to show, well, basically, I wanted to know what it is about on-screen violence that appeals to us horror fans the most. Now, this is more in touch with horror fans, so if you're a fan of other genres, then I am sorry, but this is not really going to appeal to you. You're more than welcome to continue to contribute to this discussion, but yeah, this is going to be based on horror fans. So, horror fans are labelled as freaks. They're labelled as the reason why the world is bad, basically. All these murderers, they say that if you watch horror films, you're going to turn into a murderer. So that's the basic sort of attitude, and I think that's what bands the horror community together even more. But what I wanted to know was just the morbid curiosity with violence. Now, personally, for me, I am not a fan of violence in reality. I can't watch boxing. I hate watching cage fighting, MMA and all that kind of stuff. And just violence in the real world, I just absolutely despise. I will not watch those faces of gore, the real life death footages. I hate that, and I just cannot watch it, and it just disturbs me beyond belief. So I push that all aside. But when it comes to on-screen violence in a film, I love it. I love, the horrible crimes against humanity in this make-believe world. I can pretty much stomach anything, and the more extreme it gets, the more I appreciate it. So it was just a very strange sort of thing. I'm thinking that I hate violence on a real scale, but when it comes to a film, I'm just completely different. I can watch absolutely anything, and the more ghastly the violence is, the better it is. And it's not necessarily a case of making me happy watching it, but I feel it's just a sense of satisfaction that a film is going to rebel basically against what other films are doing. So you've got these crappy romantic comedies. I hate them, and they just seem to be so popular. And the same with the other sort of mainstream superhero films. Now, I'm not saying anything wrong with those movies, but for me, when I see a horror film, that it shows the complete opposite of the world, and that is the negative, the scary element to it. So when I see someone getting absolutely butchered, the inner sicko into me, it says, yes, I am watching a film that is not, fairy tale. It is showing the world for what the other side of the world that everybody wants to turn a blind eye to and pretend that it's not there. So I feel that that is my main sort of attraction to the horror genre, in the fact that it's more of reality. A lot of people say horror fans have to keep, out of touch in reality. I think it's the complete opposite. I think people who basically indulge in this romantic comedy, I think they're more delusional than a horror fan is, because these things happen in horror, in the real world. As much as we like to turn a blind eye to it, it happens, and it happens every day. So I feel that they're more in touch with reality, the horror fans, and it's just something that other people do not want to come to terms with. So yeah, I mean, getting criticised beyond belief as far as being called a freak for liking horror, I think that bands us together even more. But I think it's just that rebellion. It's rebellion against the typical sort of sugar-coated film is what draws me to horror the most. I love being scared. I think the feeling of being scared is only one, obviously, that applies to horror films. And the feeling of being scared, that is really experiencing a movie, because you don't get the feeling with any other film. The feeling that you don't want to go to sleep with the lights off, that something's hiding under your bed. All those feelings that you get as a child. None of that sort of feeling comes from any other movie. So that's what makes horror so unique. And that's why I feel that the harsh realities of the violence in the films, I think that's what appeals to me the most, is because they're not going away from the negativity in the world. And no, that's not saying that I leech off negativity. I am, in my personal life, I am a very positive person, but I've experienced the negativity in the world, and I feel that I can connect better with the negativity in a horror film than I can with the airy fairy kind of artistic sort of rubbish fairy, sugar coating that is in a horror. Not a horror comedy, a romantic comedy. So for that, I feel I can't connect with that. But as strange as it sounds, I can connect with the horror world. I can connect with the harsh sort of qualities that a horror film make. And a lot of you might think that I need help, but I feel that, as I said, it is a fake film. It's not really happening. These actors that are getting butchered, are getting paid at the end of the day. So how bad is it? I mean, you're not carrying out these violent acts in real life. So there's nothing wrong with a fantasy where you're watching all these horrible things happen. But as I said, you're not breaking the law. So violence in film is where it belongs. And if it doesn't happen in reality, then I'm all for it. So I feel, as I said, I can connect with horror a lot better than I can connect with any other genre. So as sick as that may sound, that's the way I feel, and that's what attracts me to horror the most. So basically what my question is to you guys is, what attracts you to horror? What attracts us to the morbid world? What attracts us to wanting to see someone get their head crushed in by, an axe or something? That stuff that other people find so ghastly, that other people label us as freaks because of it. But yeah, basically, what draws you to this sort of genre? Is it the same as me, or is it for different reasons? So, whatever reasons that they may be, please feel free to leave a comment. If you hate horror and you want to just slag it off and completely rip us to shreds, please feel free to do that. If you do it in a constructive response, then you might get a constructive response back. But yeah, each and every one of you are more than welcome to leave your honest comments. I will not delete them unless, of course, they are just getting, really, really harsh towards a certain person. So yeah, please feel free to leave your comments, and hopefully, yeah, I'll be hearing from a few of you, and maybe we'll have, a little bit of a discussion going. So that's all I've got for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.